Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, we have studied some of the special function registers of 8051. Which special function registers we have studied? Match register, PSW register, port register, and stack pointer. So these registers we have studied yesterday. Okay. So functioning of each special function register we have studied in detail. So today we will be summarizing. Today we will be summarizing the functioning of the remaining registers. Okay, so already we have studied DPH and DPL, isn't it? So what is DPH and DPL? It is a data pointer register. That is what we have seen. And data pointer register can be divided into two portions, namely DPH and DPL. Okay, so this data pointer register, it is of width, how much? 16-bit wide. Okay, so both of these form the data pointer register, and this is divided into two portions. It is divided into two portions or 2 bytes. One byte is called as higher order byte and another byte is called as lower order byte. The upper 8 bits are called as higher order byte and lower 8 bits are called as lower order byte. Okay, so here you can observe the data pointer register high and data pointer register low. Okay, so in this case, as you can observe, it is only byte addressable. That means you can address DPH only with help of 8 bits, not a single bit addressing is possible. So it is not bit addressable, but it is byte addressable. So this DPL register, data pointer register, lower byte, it is also only byte addressable type of the register. Okay, so are you clear about this? So otherwise the functioning of data pointer register already we have studied, and the address of DPH is 83 hexadecimal and that of DPL is 82 hexadecimal. Okay, so this is about the data pointer register. Now below data pointer register, what you can observe, students? Can anybody tell me what you can observe? What is this? This is IP and this is IE. So both of these registers, they are related to what is called as interrupt. Okay. So students, can you tell me what is the meaning of the interrupt? Yes, what is the meaning of the interrupt? Can anybody tell me? Yes, already we have studied this, no? Then you should be able to tell me what is the meaning of the interrupt. Yes, Vedant, can you tell me what is the meaning of interrupt?
Disturbance, अडथळा.
Disturbance, अडथळा. नाही, अजून काहीतरी वेगळं सांगितलं होतं मी. सौरभ, yes, Saurabh, are you present?
मॅम नेटवर्क इश्यू आहे.
नेटवर्क इश्यू आहे. बर. Interrupt is a signal.
Ma'am, it functions like a bookmark.
It functions like a bookmark. No, it is not like that. That is not a complete definition. Waiting room मध्ये कोणतरी दिसते. Okay. So interrupt is a signal which is used to grab the attention of CPU. Okay. So this attention of CPU can be grabbed for many purposes. Okay, whatever may be the purpose, but interrupt is a signal which is used to grab the attention of CPU. Okay, now there are two 8-bit registers related to this interrupt. One is called as IP. Meaning of IP is the interrupt priority. Okay, so already we have discussed about what is the meaning of the interrupt priority. Suppose if two interrupt signals are simultaneously raised, okay, then which interrupt signal should be addressed by central processing unit? So this is the question, isn't it? Because in all we have studied that there are 5 types of interrupts present in case of 8051. So it may happen that out of these 5 interrupts, more than one interrupt may be raised at a time. So at this time, which interrupt is to be served? This is the issue. And this issue is solved by assigning priorities to the interrupt. Okay, so one interrupt may be having highest priority than other. So when two interrupts are simultaneously raised, then the CPU will address the highest priority interrupt. After servicing that interrupt, it will look for the remaining interrupt. So this is what is the priority in case of the interrupt. Okay, so this interrupt priority register, it is both bit addressing as well as byte addressing type. Okay, so by default, priority of the interrupts is decided by 8051. But suppose if a programmer want to design his own priority, then that is made available to programmer with help of a register called as interrupt priority register. The programmer can write the bits in the interrupt priority register in order to manage the priority of the interrupts. Okay, so this is what is the purpose of the interrupt priority register. So this is one of the special function register. How it is bit addressable as well as it is byte addressable. So it is 8-bit wide. Okay, now here you can observe the address of the IP register is B8. Okay, so the second register which is associated with the interrupt is IE. The meaning of the IE is that interrupt enable. E means enable. So meaning of this is that this particular register is used to enable the interrupt. Okay, so there is need to enable the interrupt. So interrupt is enabled by writing a bit 1 or writing 1 to the bit position for a particular bit position. Okay, so this writing 1 to the bit position is carried out in a interrupt enable register. Okay, so this makes interrupt signal enable. So this type of register is also both bit addressable as well as byte addressable, and the address of the interrupt enable register is A8. Okay, so interrupt enable register is used to enable the interrupt signals, and enabling the interrupt signal can be done by assigning value 1 to the particular bit in the interrupt enable register. So detailed structure of the interrupt enable register we are going to study later. Okay, so now at this point you should only know that IE is a register which is 8-bit wide and which is used to enable the interrupt signal, and enabling the interrupt signal can be done by writing 1 logic 1 at a bit position of interrupt enable register. Are you clear about this? So this interrupt enable register is bit addressable. That means either you can set or clear a particular bit, or this is also a byte addressable. That means you can write a whole byte into the interrupt enable register. Okay, so this is all about the registers related to the interrupt process. Now let us come to next special function registers, and this next set of special function register is related to serial ports. Okay, so SBUF means serial buffer and SCON means serial communication control. So these are two registers, and as you can observe, SBUF register, it is having address 99 hexadecimal, and it is called as serial input output buffer, and it is only byte addressable. It is not bit addressable. So you are writing data to the buffer area, and data can be written into the buffer area byte-wise. So it is only byte addressable. So before transmitting or receiving, that is prior to transmitting or receiving, the data is stored in the buffer area. So the second register of 8051 is, which is related to serial communication port, is SCON. SCON means serial communication control. Okay, so this is both bit addressable as well as byte addressable. And as you know, to control the serial communication function, the SCON register is used. So we are going to study the structure or internal details of the SCON register while studying serial communication. Okay, so at this point you only remember this is a special function register which is bit addressable as well as byte addressable, and it is used to control the serial communication. Okay, now let us move to next set of special function registers, starting from TCON to TMOD. Okay, so all these registers are related to timer. Okay, so as you know, how many timers are there in 8051? Can anybody tell me how many timers are there in the 8051? Yes, students, answer quickly. Very easy question. Two timers are there, timer 0 and timer 1. Okay, so now first let us see what is this TCON register and what is this TMOD register. Okay, so TCON register means timer control register, which is having address of 88 hexadecimal. It is both bit addressable as well as byte addressable, and it is used to control the timer function. Okay, so details of this also we are going to study in the timer chapter. Okay, so at this point you have to remember that TCON register is a timer control register. It is 8-bit wide and it is bit addressable as well as it is byte addressable. Now second register that you can observe here is TMOD. Okay, so meaning of the TMOD is timer mode select. So there are two timers, and these two timers are operating in different modes. There is 13-bit mode, there is 16-bit mode, there is 8-bit mode. So timer is operating in the different mode, and to select a particular mode at a time, this TMOD register is used. Again, structure of the TMOD register we are going to study ahead. So this type of register is only byte addressable. It is not bit addressable. That means you can only write byte, that means 8 bits simultaneously into this type of register. And address of the TMOD register is 89. So TCON is 88 and TMOD is 89. You need not remember addresses of the register. Just remember their names, because it is difficult to remember the addresses, but some may have good numerical memory. They may remember, but all may not remember. Just remember their names, TCON and TMOD. Okay. Now, apart from this, there are 4 more registers. So here you can observe there are 4 more registers. Okay, so out of these 4 registers, 2 are TH0 and TL0. That means these two resistors are related to timer 0. Okay, they are related to timer 0. So these two resistors are called as timer 0 counter resistor. So in order to set a timer, you have to use a counter, and you can write a data for a counter in this TH0 and TL0 resistor. TH means higher order byte and TL means lower order byte. Okay, so higher order byte for timer 0, lower order byte for timer 0. Okay, so as you can observe, these resistors are only byte addressable. They are not bit addressable. Okay, you have to store count in TH0 or TL0 to set up a particular delay. Okay, if you are designing delay, then in that case you have to use these timer counter resistors. So similar to TH0 and TL0, TH1 and TL1 resistors are there, and these are related to timer 1. Okay, TH1 is timer counter higher order byte, and TL1 is timer counter timer 1 counter lower order byte. Okay, so these are also only byte addressable. So when you are using timer 1 and you are setting up a particular time delay, then you have to write some count into this particular resistor. Okay, so this we will be studying in detail in the timer chapter. Okay, are you clear about all these special function resistors, students? Yes, tell me. आज participants कमी दिसतात मुलांनो. Why students are less? कुणाला काही शंका? Shall I move forward? Answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So first I will erase everything and then we will move forward. Okay. So in this particular point, in special function resistor, you must know the functioning of each and every resistor. Okay, as far as your examination is concerned. Okay, now let us move to what is called as structure of a port. Okay, now we will be coming back to the port. Okay, up till now what we have studied? Do you remember what we have studied up till now? Meaning of microcontroller, comparison between microcontroller and microprocessor, internal block diagram of microcontroller 8051, pin diagram of 8051, internal RAM organization of 8051, and special function resistors of 8051. So all these things we have studied, and today we are going to study a structure of the pin. Port pin. So structure of this port pin is very important. What you can observe on the screen? Can anybody tell me what you can observe on the screen? Yes. Which components are present on the screen? Can anybody tell me? Yes. Can anybody tell me what components you can observe on the screen? अरे बोला कि पटपट. Yes. Which components you can observe on the screen? No. What is this? And what is this? And what is this? These are symbols, isn't it? Symbols of what? This is a symbol of what? Can anybody tell me? This is a symbol of? This is a symbol of what? हे काय लिहिलंय मी इथे? वाचा बरं. काय लिहिलंय मी? वेदांत, सौरभ, आहात का सगळे? का गेले?
DFF.
DFF म्हणजे FF म्हणजे काय? हे नाव ऐकलं नाही कधी?
फ्लिप फ्लॉप.
हा, कोण बोलते ते?
सौरभ.
सौरभ. FF म्हणजे फ्लिप फ्लॉप आणि DFF म्हणजे डी फ्लिप फ्लॉप.
फ्लिप फ्लॉप.
What is a flip flop? Flip flop is a data storing element. Either it can store 0 or it can store 1. So it is a memory element, isn't it? So D is the input of this D flip flop. When you apply 0 to this D, the D flip flop will store a bit 0. And if you apply 1, then it will store 1. So it is a storing element. So this is a D flip flop. Now, what is this TB1 and TB2? How it looks? How it looks? Tell me. Be quick. How it looks? Tell me, what is this that I have drawn? What I have drawn on the screen, students? Which symbol I have drawn on the screen? Please tell me. Saurabh, Vedant, Shraddha, can you tell me which type of this? NOT gate, isn't it? This is a NOT gate. NOT gate is also called as inverter. Okay. So when input to this NOT gate is 1, you will get output to be 0. And if input is 0, then output will be 1. So this operation is called as negation. And this type of gate is called as NOT gate. Now, all of you have studied that negation of negation is quantity itself, isn't it? What will be bar of A bar? This property we have studied. Bar of A bar is A itself, isn't it? So, now can you tell me what this is? This is an element to which if you apply 1, 1 will be present at the output. If you apply 0, 0 will be present at the output. So this will function similar to this. And name of this element is buffer. What it is? It is called as buffer. Okay. Now tell me on the screen, what is M1? What is this M1? What is this M1, students? पटकन बोला. M1 म्हणजे काय आहे? हा कुठला एलिमेंट आहे? हा जो आहे ना मी सर्कल केलेला. So what is that? It is called as MOSFET. Have you heard of MOSFET? Have you heard of MOSFET?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me its long form. What is the long form of MOSFET? MOS means metal oxide semiconductor. FET means field effect transistor. So it is a type of transistor which is called as a metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. So here we are using a transistor. And what is this? Load means what? Which kind of component is this? You have any idea? So this is resistor. Basically, this is resistor. So now, what are the components of the port pin? Port pin. The components of the port pin are D flip-flop. One is called as input buffer and another is called as output buffer. Okay, so one is called as input buffer and another is called as output buffer. So two buffers are present there, and apart from this, the MOSFET or metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor is also present there. Okay, so this is what is the structure of the pin. Okay, so along with the MOS, there is what is called as load or a resistor, and this resistor is called as a pull-up resistor. What it is called as? It is called as pull-up resistor. The functioning of the pull-up resistor I have explained to you. What is meaning of the pull-up resistor? Always it will pull up a value of logic 1. Okay, so this logic 1 will be changed only when you change the inputs of the particular device. Okay, so if you change input to 0, then and then only output will become 0. Otherwise, it will be continuously at logic 1. It will be continuously at logic 1 level. So it is called as pull-up resistor. Similar to pull-up resistor, which another kind of resistor is there? There is a pull-down resistor, and this pull-down resistor holds the value of the output to logic 0 continuously unless and until it is changed to 1. Okay, so this is what is the structure of the port pin. Are you clear about the structure of the port pin? Yes? Tell me, are you clear about the structure of the port pin, or do you have any doubts? At this stage, you should only know what are the different components of the port pin. The different components of the port pin are D flip-flop, two buffers, one is input buffer, another is output buffer, and the MOSFET. MOSFET is used as a switch, and this MOSFET is connected to the pull-up resistor to pull up value of logic 1. Okay, so all the ports, port 1, port 2, port 3, they have internally connected pull-up resistors. So this we have already studied. But port number 0 does not have internally connected this kind of pull-up resistor. We have to connect external pull-up resistor in case of port number 0. So this is very important point which you have to remember as far as your examination is concerned. Okay, so we have seen the structure of the port pin, and we can see here either you can write to the port pin or you can read from the port pin. U means 8051. Either the read operation is carried out with respect to this port pin, or write operation is carried out with respect to these port pins. Okay, are you clear about this?
Yes, ma'am.
So certain instructions are used to read from the port or to write into the port. out of these instructions, some examples are you must perform AND operation with port 1. You can perform clear operation with port 1, or you can perform decrement operation with the port 1, and you can use all these instructions to modify the data present on the port. Okay, so we need to read the latch to know the what was present on the port. Okay, so basically there are two operations related to port pin. The one operation is reading from the port pin, and the second operation is the writing on the port pin. So these two operations we are going to study in detail, but in tomorrow's lecture, because today we will not be able to complete it. Only 3 minutes are remained, and tomorrow we will be studying how to write on a port pin, how to read from the port pin, and at the same time we are going to study the external memory interface. Now, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Students,
No, ma'am.
you don't have any doubts? You don't have any doubts? Okay. So, shall we conduct test on 8051? Yes, students? Bola, 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 pat, pat, bola. Can we conduct descriptive test on 8051? Are you ready for that? Are you studying? You must study, because this is a little bit difficult paper and you have to continuously study. So if you know each and every concept, then and then only you will be understanding the further concepts. Otherwise, it is not possible. Yes, respond me. Are you ready for test? And when? Tell me that.
Yes, ma'am.
So how much time you will require to study? We will have a test on a portion up to special function register, and this test will be descriptive test. Or shall we initially have multiple choice and then descriptive?
Okay, ma'am.
First we will take multiple choice so that you will have confidence. So when shall we conduct this multiple choice? On Saturday? Is it possible on Saturday? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So multiple choice at least you can face on Saturday. 4 days are sufficient to study.
Yes, ma'am.
Then I will declare the descriptive test. Okay. So
Okay,
what
ma'am.
about chapter 2 of communication? Have you watched the video?
No, ma'am.
Why? You have to watch, because I'm going to conduct a discussion lecture on that. Both papers you have to study, and second paper is comparatively easy as compared to 8051, but not that much easy, because the syllabus is changed. The third chapter and fourth chapter, they are heavy. So be quick about studying first chapter and second